Under the brilliant Stephen Moffat and Russell Davies before him, Doctor Who has become a reborn legend. Again, it's gone through rebirth, it just goes all the way back to a little piece of televisual children's theater from the day Kennedy was assassinated. Everyone, Androzani Critic presents Doctor Who. Doctor Who starts small. It's 1960s low-budget BBC children's televisual theater that somehow becomes the biggest thing on TV. This was long before the show could do something like the Zygon Inversion, The Empty Child, or even The Ark in Space. Far away were the days of Robert Holmes' masterpieces such as Carnival of Monsters or The Rebus Operation, where you can use your small production and televisual space to do a story about petty motivations and conversations. This show is so small it has to start in a junkyard. Of course, it isn't just a junkyard because that would be boring. So they made it the scariest junkyard ever. So after its opening psychedelic Rorschach test, the show immediately goes for urban horror, and the camera finds what an ordinary Bobby couldn't. The camera enters the junkyard and decides the most interesting thing there is a police box. An icon now, an ordinary sight then. Aside from that, then the show reveals its target audience. The episode transitions to a school inhabited by passing students and, shockingly, active teachers. The show focuses on the teachers before introducing the titled child. This might be seen as odd, but the subject of the dialogue is intriguing, and the teachers aren't like real teachers, meaning they aren't assholes. Thankfully, half of the teacher scene is a delight due to Jacqueline Hill as Barbara Wright, one of the best companions in the classic series, mostly because of Hill's performance. Hill creates psychological dimensions for Barbara, establishing personality traits and making many decisions over the course of a few seconds. She really does feel like a real person. The same can't be said for the eternally wooden Ian Chesterton, played by William Russell, a man capable of playing slightly confident, surprised, and that's about it, really. Nonetheless, both of them are modern teachers for the 60s. Young, hot, nice, give a damn about their students. A couple of nice people to offset the strangeness of the beginning. Also there to show that kids can impress and outdo their teachers. The awe of which they talk about their student Susan, thinking in terms of other dimensions and knowing science and history better than they do, sets off another mystery and gets us ready to meet a kid as cool as us. The result is half and half. The mystery is quite good, the unearthly child isn't. That's not so much a failure of the character written by Anthony Coburn. The problem is the actress playing Susan is Carol Ann Ford. Ford injects nothing interesting into the character of Susan. Any confidence or fire of character that would later be fused into performances such as Maureen O'Brien as Vicky, Liz Sladen as Sarah Jane, Sophie Aldred as Ace, and most of the new series companions. It's not here. Ford's line of vision seems only to extend as far as schoolgirl.
The TARDIS can go anywhere. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not right. It's impossible unless you use D&D. I understand these people better than you. Oh no, Grandfather, no!
And as creator of a YouTube series dedicated to youth and rebellion, I'm not happy about this. I think that's enough said about that, so let's get back to talking about how really bloody good this is for 1963. It's common practice to put a scene of strangeness at the beginning of a science fiction or fantasy story and then cut to ordinary life and then slowly lead the people back to the strangeness. It's a regular part of Neil Gaiman or Douglas Adams' books. Note that those two writers were both heavily influenced by Doctor Who. This is really incredible. What was just another job for these people was far bigger than any of them intended. Except script editor David Whittaker, the real creator of Doctor Who. We'll get to him thoroughly in the Edge of Destruction review, which will be right before Boomtown, so episode 12. And especially in Power of the Daleks, episode 17, The Rescue, episode 67, and The Enemy of the World, episode 90. Which is much sooner than I expected. I expected it to be around 150 or so. So the episode brings Barbara and Ian into the junkyard in search of Susan and find William Hartnell. There is no doctor. There is only a hostile namesake called Doctor Who. The tension partially comes from the villain of the piece being the name of the show, a stand-in for the new strangeness and scariness that is this show called Doctor Who. The old man revels in keeping secrets from the teachers and encouraging their ignorance, keeping all the mystery to himself. This is properly mean, and William Hartnell is fantastic as a children's villain. The idea that Susan might be held in the strange humming police box by her grandfather is unsettling. Gratingly, the argument outside the TARDIS takes far too long. Today, Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman would exchange a few lines and go into the new scene. The reveal here is the biggest event of 1963. Entirely new dimensions are brought to this puzzle box of an episode. The element of the portal to fairy exists now. Just as C.S. Lewis leaves the scene along with his stories of looking to the past, Doctor Who comes along with its stories of all of time and space. It fits into the tradition of Alice in Wonderland and Harry Potter, and it makes the smart decision to put a teenage girl at the controls. Hartnell then goes utterly mad and reveals himself to be a self-aware character. He directly compares the TARDIS to television and spells out the metaphor it is.
You say you can't fit an enormous building into one of your smaller sitting rooms?
No.
But you've discovered television, haven't you?
Yes?
Then by showing an enormous building on your television screen, you can do what seemed impossible, couldn't you?
Doctor Who is a superb character already. In addition to being menacing, his dangerous existence is appealing and beckons us to come with him. His backstory is also hinted at, an exile from a people possibly too strange and massive even for him. This is already part of a bigger story and bigger history. Against the will of the characters, but luckily for us, he takes us with him to see that story. And as it joins the 60s with its big spout of psychedelia, it's bigger than ever.